I am going to actually change locations so that my daughter can have her virtual school starting and we won't hear a little voice. So I'm going to change locations to another room here.
Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Herald Square. Tell all the gang at 42nd Street that.
But that was a ton of information without pause. So I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all have about our process, or where do you want to go?
One of the things I'll tell you is a term we had to invent when it comes to digital theater is breaking the fifth wall.
Yeah.
And what we call that is, breaking the fourth wall is talking to the audience. Breaking the fifth wall is getting through that screen, either the screen between two actors on Zoom or the screen between your audience and the fact that it's being recorded. It's that fifth wall that we call it, that you have to, you're almost, we say certain plays have power where like they reach out to you and it's almost like the energy hit the back wall because you can feel it through that screen. And that's tough. That's so tough. Mm-hmm. When you're recording, you don't know because you don't hear the audience, but so you're like trying to, as I said, break through that fifth wall, that screen, that recording device to get through to your audience.
It's so true, and I love the phrase that y'all have coined as far as that fifth wall, and truly, like some of the discoveries of realizing, oh, we need to break through that fifth wall. We didn't have that phrase yet, but that's exactly what we were trying to achieve. It wasn't until we broke out that giant television monitor and we were watching it not as it was unfolding as live theater, but as it was unfolding as a recorded piece. And it was like big epiphanies of, like I said, it's too washed out, they're too far away. Mm-hmm. Another element, I think, with I spoke earlier about the luxury of having the time to stop the camera and tweak the fix. But when you think about that, the stamina that it takes for the performers to keep starting at 60 every time, there's no warm up and ramp up to stop last. You've got to hit here. So when we do edit it, it's not like, oh, that was the good day and when she was tired. Now she, or that's the bad day when she was tired, and here's the good day when she was all ramped up on, caffeine. You've got to hit that level, and the consistency has to be precise. And this group of actors was tremendous, and that was a learning curve for them. But they would go home exhausted, and it wasn't. I don't think it was so much physical exhaustion. It was more that mental tiredness of just being up here the whole time. Yeah,
that's crazy. And especially considering in a weird way you didn't have those early dress rehearsals, or like you kind of did but you kind of didn't. You didn't have like those test runs, like a press preview. You didn't have those run throughs that kind of like, okay, our energy wasn't great in this spot. It's like, no, you had like 3 days like energy.
It was, and they gave everything every single time. It was, I respect them so much, and that their attitudes never dropped. Their desire to be there never dropped. It was just, if I know they were tired, I know they were exhausted, but they were still smiling, they were still laughing, and they went above and beyond every single take we did. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and talking about that 4-week process, hearing you talk about it, I imagine that it's like you're dropped into this world. You now have to pretend like you can't even like get acquainted to the world because now you're masked up. You're trying to be in quarantine so you can make sure everything goes right. And then, you're rehearsing like throughout, but it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. You're so isolated, insulary. Were there moments, I can make complete sentences, I swear. Were there moments where it just felt like they feel like they couldn't do enough, or like it was a little trapped, or did they feel like, okay, yeah, we're stuck like this, but we can work on something else with the play?
I think they always felt that there was movement. I can tell you that all of us were so excited for that first day in person, because we knew, like, where we might have been kind of treading water because we'd kind of maxed out what we could do in quarantine and by ourselves or with a screen, that we were so hungry to be on our feet that the energy just kind of like catapulted and the big steps were being taken again. But even something as far as not even the production work that was happening during this 4 weeks. I mean, if you think about, in group housing and working on a project, any other production, you're working and you're playing also with these people, and you're building relationships, and you're eating together, and you're partying together, or whatever your social element is after rehearsal. And they weren't getting to experience Roanoke on that level, which is such a big perk to live downtown, and it's amazing. So they missed part of the experience. They missed that like early bonding, but yet it still happened, because by the time we got in person, you would have thought these people would have been together for 10 weeks prior. It was really cool to see the level of trust and the laughter and the healthy teasing, that banter that happens with the cast. It was all there. So that was really cool. But even though all of that early groundwork was in isolation and in their little cocoon. So it was different, but yet the bonding still happened. So when we all left, the tears were still there of saying goodbyes. It wasn't so cold that it was like, oh, I don't really know these people. I did this project, but I'm leaving. No, I mean, you would have thought that they would have been here their full 12 weeks, but that was different. And I keep saying, I've got to bring this group back, because they've got to experience Roanoke like we've gotten to experience. That's part of a contract. You get to enjoy the community and the city that you're planted in, and they didn't get that. So I hate that part of the process that's missing.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the hardest part, seeing when things are probably closed up and you want to just hang out. And I mean, we love Roanoke, I mean,
We met there.
We met there. It's our favorite place.
Ah,
We met in Hollins. I was in the screenwriting program, playwright, and he was a playwright. And so Roanoke, like, it's still like our home. Like, we can just imagine like going to McAdoo's, going
yes,
downtown, hanging out, and
all those favorite spots.
Our first day was in Cafe Asia, so it was very
So yeah, we
that's
love
awesome.
Roanoke. If you can bring them back, I would love to like see the sequel to this, especially like as a reviewer and hearing the background of like this. I almost want to call it camp, but it's so more than that. It's like an integrated.
But it is. It's like COVID camp.
Yeah. And so like a sequel to this, just see where everybody turned up and what their big dreams are now.
Well, y'all keep doing what y'all are doing. I so appreciate it. And we actually had a really good article that went out in the paper today. I'm going to forward that to y'all just so that y'all, just another little bit before you watch the show. And if there's anything I can do, let me know. And I promise to stay connected with you guys, and y'all do the same.
Oh yeah, just a little bit, because you're the first people we know are doing it on the Broadway On Demand. How are people actually getting onto that and seeing?
Oh yeah, so we can tell people.
Absolutely. So the trick is, like, you can't go on to Broadway On Demand and just search it, because it is going to be a private limited link from September 15th through October 9th. And then the link will be deactivated, because basically they're giving us the time that we would have been out on tour, which was 24 days. So they're giving us that time period. So what they need to do is they need to contact us, and it's all through social media. And they just need to provide us with their email address, an email address. It doesn't matter. And that way we can send them the private link, and they can watch it as many times as they want to. You do have to have a subscription to On Broadway On Demand, but it costs $0. All you have to do is put in your email address for Broadway On Demand, and that way they're capturing, again, looking at the breadth of where the viewings coming from. That's all they're doing is getting some stats. And then you can view the show as many times as you'd like to, but it's zero cost for the subscription. We just need to capture an email address to email you the link. And you can get all of that through our social media and our website, millmountain.org. And it's pretty simple. So you can't search the show on On Demand because it's a private link. But if you have the link, you have full access through the
Hey guys, if you like what we just did, there's going to be plenty more coming up. Please like, comment, subscribe. Our Venmo is in the description. Please support us if you can. Our cats need the money.